We are at, I've lost track of the map. I think we are episode 128. And unexpectedly, where are we, Brad?
We're at Dusty Roads because weather is always a factor.
Weather is always a factor. And Nico was kind enough to let us take over the newly epoxied bar. Once again, this is sweet. I'm liking this place.
Swanky.
It is fancy.
Yeah.
It is fancy. You'll hear some background noise. That's perfectly fine. Nico has one of his customers. He's giving him a guided tour on how to work on his own fork.
That's very cool.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Officially, Happy New Year, Bradford.
Happy New Year to you, brother.
We're kicking off the year in style.
I have high hopes for 2026.
I have tremendous hopes for 2026.
If I could just get over this, I still have this. It's awful. Hate it.
So how deep are you into this now?
This Saturday will be 3 weeks.
3 weeks. I believe my last round of whatever that really kicked me in the butt in October was about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So
I told Paula the other day, I said, I know they tested me positive for the flu, but the aftermath feels
very COVID-ish.
Very COVID-ish.
Very COVID-ish. Yeah. That's what
because I still feel sluggish. Yeah. I still have that kind of brain fog, and I have this low-grade tension headache of sorts.
Maybe they just call it flu now so people don't get offended.
It was always the flu anyways.
In a variation thereof. We're not going into politics. We're never going to go into politics. That's for sometimes we accidentally stray there, but I try to edit those out. Anyway, let's talk bicycles, man, because welcome to Shiftless. Again, I think it's episode 128, maybe 129, not 130. I know that.
Yeah.
The show that's only about bicycles. We're in a bicycle shop, so
just by proxy, it's about bicycles.
We
can talk about everything else.
There's bicycles and saddles and stuff in the. So if you're watching it on YouTube, you're seeing the bike stuff.
Seeing this. I love seeing bikes and stands and bikes getting worked on.
Tools everywhere. Bike racing on the big screen TV, up on the wall. We've got dogs in the joint.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dusty Roads Bicycle.
All the things.
Grand opening. Nico, Becca, grand opening 124, correct?
Yep.
Grand opening 124. They're gonna kick off the Texas Chainring Massacre that morning with us. They're gonna run down here and get the party started. Food trucks and all sorts of other stuff. Come ride the Chainring Massacre with the plans to just take over Dusty Roads Bicycle Shop afterwards. So what's going on in Brad's world besides being sick?
Just still struggling, man. Like I said, I rode on Tuesday, and it was the first half of the lap was way harder. I just didn't have anything. My heart rate was so spiked, and I was just struggling to breathe. But I think I'm definitely getting better every day, but still just such a slow recovery. I got some. I didn't get to tell you this, but I've got some new bars to try out on my.
We're at 210.
I'm trying to remember. I think they're corner bars.
Okay.
So it's
the Surleys.
Yes. So what's cool is they're flat bars, but they have it's almost like a Jones bar type sitch, but they're way more swept. Mm-hmm. So it's almost just like being in the drops on my wood chippers, but you can still run conventional flat bar brakes. So I can change out the bars that I have on my Chumba right now, which is the whiskey. I forgot what they're called. But I want to try these out because I like being in my drop so much on my wood chippers that I think that's going to be a fun bar combo. But I just don't know what it's going to do to my positioning and everything. But I'm excited to put them on and try them out. That's my bike project that I have hanging right now.
Would that potentially be a Fargo solution for you?
No, I like my
okay,
full-blown drop bars. You do bring up a good point, though, because then I could go to just a pod for my shifter
and still run your mechanicals.
Or I could run a traditional and do the T90 like I was talking about doing. You know what, Kevin? You're smarter than you look. And if those bars are comfortable, that is a much better bar for bike packing.
Yes.
Because it has so much more real estate.
I've been very fascinated by the corner bar myself. I just don't have the right app. I say I don't have, that might be the right application for my El Jefe, now that I think about it.
Now, I don't know what the width are on these, but I held them up. It's hard to hold them up to the wood chippers because,
Don't even try to do that. Ride them on the Chumba.
but they seem wider. But it's much more of an ordeal to install them on the Fargo than it would be the Chumba. Because right now I can just take my brake levers off and take my pod off, put the bars on, and remount everything, and it's easy money. So.
I can guarantee you this: Mr. Waldschmidt is zeroed in on your solution because he's leaning in a similar direction for upgrades to his Fargo. So
very cool.
Him and Nico are working on his solution, but he's definitely super aware.
I hadn't even thought about that though. Putting those on the Fargo is a beautiful solution because then I wouldn't even have to deal with that ratio bullshit. I could just do T90. I could still get away with using mechanical brakes. I could still do my Paul, and I could just do a thumb shifter. I just don't know where that mounts on a corner bar situation, but I do. That's going to send me down a whole nother rabbit hole. But I'll try them out. I'll proof them on the Chumba as far as comfort and position and everything.
I think that's an excellent plan.
Yeah. And then, because I can still wrap the top of those bars for position change, and you can still run an aero bar on the race across Texas, but it frees me up on my front bag setup because what I ran into with the wood chipper setup is because I started moving my brake levers in, and I really like that position when I'm on the hoods. But what that did is that not eliminated, but it limited the amount of space I had for my bar bag, my handlebar bag.
Yep.
And so what I ended up doing is running a Velcro strap around it so I could cinch it down to suck it in instead of going wider.
I was this close to getting the corner bars for my Chumba.
Yeah.
When I had a Chumba.
Yeah.
Basically, it was the first year they came out and they sold out. You couldn't get them for 2 years.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. But I believe they're readily available these days. So I hear good things about it from people
I
that
lucked
use it.
into mine. We did a white elephant gift
Nice.
exchange for TNSS Christmas edition. And ironically, I brought a pair of Velo orange bars that I had sitting in my garage. I can't even recall where I got them from. Never been installed on anything. They just never felt right even looking at them. And so I never installed them. And then I had another saddle that I wasn't going to use. And so I zip tied the saddle to the bars and then gift wrapped the whole thing, and it looked like a cow skull, basically, because you had the saddle.
Yep.
Kind of like you've done a logo like that before.
Mhm.
And then I ended up, I think I stole the corner bars because I was like, ooh, I want to play with those. And they came with a stem, and they have ESI chunkies already installed. So I'm like, this is
That's a very Merry Christmas right there.
So I'm excited to try them out. And even if they don't work, I'll just re-gift them or something.
Give the certified torque
Dibs.
There you go. I'll give you first dibs.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
But if they do work on the Chumba, then I'll probably relegate the Chumba back to my whiskey bars. I can't remember what those are called, and move them and go forward.
Try it on the Fargo at that
go
point.
forward with my Fargo plan because I like that a lot. I just don't know because they seem wider than my wood chippers, and my wood chippers are, I want to say they're 48s. And I don't know what sizes the corner bars come in.
I have no idea, but I think after 2 rides, you'll know if it's feasible or not, quite frankly.
Yeah. My main concern is not because they're too wide for comfort, because I think you can kind of get used to that. My main concern is tree gates. Because the bars I have right now.
Most areas of the country, that's not a concern.
I understand, but I don't ride in most areas of the country.
I know when I talk to people about tree gates, they give me the funniest look. What the hell are you talking about?
There's a couple of trees in particular at North Shore. There's one that I can think of just offhand that even with the 780s I ride with right now, I have to either swim through there or I have to go through very carefully because I've lost the end plug on my wolf tooth bar end tools once already. So that's a concern. And then also I hadn't even thought about with my wolf tooth bar ends go in there. Ooh, you know what's cool is on the corner bars, you have access from
the
front.
pegs at front.
Yeah. So I could just put my wolf tooth bar end from that way.
If those pegs are long enough.
It doesn't matter if they're long enough. They go all the way through, I believe.
I'm not sure.
Because I think these pieces are welded to the crossbar, and then the crossbar terminates. It doesn't go through. This is a solid piece, and this has full connectivity. So I think but I don't know about the curve.
Understood.
The curve may change. That may be the problem. Yeah. Either way, fun times.
Sounds like a fun
I'm excited.
experiment.
Yeah, I'm
I
excited
like
about
your
it.
project. I'm guessing Rich won't be interested in
The corner bar
the
sitch,
corner
yeah.
bar solution
Yeah.
on his end, but you
Betty,
never
you're
know.
such a sweetie.
She is. We love the dogs.
Oh my gosh. So Arizona. How is Arizona this time of the year?
Weather is always a factor.
100%.
We got super lucky. So basically, speaking of Rich, Mr. Waldschmidt and myself spent a good bit of the past week. I think we left Saturday morning, not bright and early, pre-bright and early Saturday morning. Drove 12 hours to Arizona, to Alpine, Arizona, to start scouting the Tuba Trail, verifying.
Beautiful area, Alpine.
It's the whole state's amazing. I've had very limited time in Arizona and around Flagstaff, which I was very impressed by. I loved that area, everything
Yeah.
from Flagstaff to Sedona and north up to the Grand. It's
Yeah.
like I could live in
Wow.
Flagstaff, no problem.
Except for the summer.
No, Flagstaff's at altitude.
Yeah.
So the summer's actually pretty pleasant.
Yeah, it's
there.
not as bad as
We were
Pahonix.
there in the summer.
Yeah.
It was our summer vacation that we traditionally did
Oh, yeah.
in the mountains of Colorado. We did it there
Yeah.
instead, and it worked out. It was beautiful. It was still warm, but it wasn't Texas hot.
Oh yeah, as bad as Pahonix.
And my expectation with my limited exposure to Arizona was that what I picture in my head of Arizona is big cactus and lots of desert. That's my impression.
And a lot of exposed rock,
A lot of exposed rock.
stone specifically.
A lot of that. Very desert-esque environment, which is not untrue,
Yeah.
but the way we were routed, we didn't hit real desert until the very end. We went 85% across the state with almost no desert, the way we were routed.
Y'all must have been southern then, or northern.
Central-ish. So again, we started from Alpine, Arizona, and the way it was originally mapped,
I'm just gonna love you up.
Yes, and she's going to put up with that.
Yeah.
The way it was originally mapped, it ended in either Blythe or Parker, Arizona, because you have to get across the Colorado River.
Yeah.
And just like crossing the Mississippi River to the east, getting across the Colorado River,
There's only a couple of places.
there's only a
too.
couple places that are bicycle safe to
Yeah.
do that. So that really limits your options. And starting in Alpine, which their nickname is the Alps of Arizona, might be a little bit of a stretch, but it is absolutely gorgeous
They're not
there.
gonna be running the Tour de France through there.
They could. It's the dirt version. I tell you what, it's absolutely gorgeous there. We got there, like I said, it was a 12-hour drive, got to Alpine, stayed at Alpine is tiny,
Yeah.
but there is resupply there.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason
And there's plenty of lodging too.
I wouldn't say plenty.
Oh, really?
And Arizona's seasonal in
Sure.
different towns and different areas. I'm not up to speed on what all the seasons are. We'll probably touch on that in a couple
I
other
know we
spots.
talked about this before too. Ideally, if you wanted to do the entirety of Tuba, when would you start?
I'm still sticking to Octoberish,
Yeah.
potentially Marchish.
Those are two completely different times of the year.
Basically, avoid midsummer and avoid
And-
midwinter.
Yeah,
Basically,
that's fair.
that said, with this you could October, November, possibly even December if you're on the faster end of things could potentially work.
That rules me out.
October will cover it. The only reason
You're talking about starting from Florida. Sorry to interrupt again.
yeah, that was based on starting from Florida.
Yeah.
And we'll touch on that. The more time I spend on the route, the more it reinforces the east to west is the right way to do it. But we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Because you could potentially start, if you're talking about October, you could potentially start the rat and just carry on because the rat is part of the Tuba.
Yes. And the timing works out well, but that's why the rat goes when it does, because that's the best time to do that portion of it.
Yeah.
So if you started, say, early 1st of October or towards the end of September in Florida, you could meet up with the rat
Just carry on.
Columbus Day weekend and just keep doing it.
Yeah.
So that would work that way.
Was that intentional or was that fortuitous?
There was an intersection there.
Yeah.
Again, I think it's intentional from the rat perspective. That's why that was the primo time to do the rat,
Yeah.
which coincidentally lines up with the primo, where it's not primo if you start towards the end of September is Florida and the Gulf states. They can still be super warm, but so can Texas. So it's not as warm as Texas, but then the higher humidity. So
Yeah.
the Euros that haven't been heat training aren't going to want to start in Jacksonville, Florida on the end of September.
It's not the heat, it's the humidity.
It is the humidity.
May hates me, by the way.
Yes, she does.
Dude, I'm in heaven. Someone who sit on their lap during a podcast.
So we started in Alpine, and basically the route doesn't need to go through Alpine. When we come out of New Mexico, we just basically go in at Luna Lake, just on the other side. But we put Alpine in for resupply purposes, and that comes back to
Makes sense.
there's a couple stores, there's a couple restaurants. Can't remember the name of the restaurant we went to, but it was something grill and still. And
So there were distillery as well?
I didn't see anything that gave me that indication, but
Yeah.
that was the name. The burgers were good there, but it was very much a small tourist town vibe, and amenities were limited at hours, and we were what is probably off season for them. So not like not all the cabins and stuff were available,
Yeah.
but there was a very old, I wouldn't call it rundown, but small room, but conveniently priced. And if you're halfway across the country on a bicycle and you need a motel, it's perfectly fine. The Sportsman's Lodge.
Yeah.
So we started there just to check out the resupply situation, and got there after dark, had our burger, went to bed, got up before dark, and we were just twiddling our thumb.
Dark. It was
Or
still
before
dark.
light, before light. Got up before light, Saturday,
confusing
Sunday
time.
morning,
Yeah.
sorry. And twiddling our thumbs because I'm not a big fan of scouting,
In the
particularly mountainous routes in the dark
dark. Yeah.
and stuff I'm completely unfamiliar with. So it's like,
But you were in a rental. So send it.
we'll get there. We'll get there. No Enterprise rent-a-cars were harmed in this trip that anybody knows of. But you know what? There's a campground before the route heads off into the woods. Let's go check out the campground and the facilities there while it's still dark and see if that's viable for people that maybe don't need to go all the way to Alpine.
So this is on the exterior of Alpine?
Yeah,
On the western?
Yeah, eastern. So basically, you'll come in from New Mexico, you go down Highway 180, and if you were just following the route before Alpine, you would turn off at Luna Lake. But there's a campground and other type facilities there. But everyone's going to need resupply, so you go another 3 miles into Alpine, resupply, and come back. And you come downhill then too. So that in Alpine, that's fine.
Yeah.
So we got out of the motel to start to head that way. Huge full moon hanging out over this mountain in front of us.
Very cool.
And oh my God, we were serenaded by a wolf pack.
Oh,
And it was amazing.
that's cool.
It was very cool. We had actually found out from the motel owner, manager, whoever lives on site, I'm assuming he's an owner,
Yeah.
that area is actually the Mexican gray wolf, the Lobo capital of the Southwest, I think, maybe the world. Not
Not the best tent camping spot.
I don't think I wouldn't be too concerned with wolves. There's plenty of elk to keep them fed there.
That's true.
There's-
As long as they're not hungry.
They're not
safe.
hungry.
Yeah.
They are not hungry.
Yeah.
And lots of elk. So coincidentally, there's lots of wolves.
Yeah.
Being serenaded by them was absolutely amazing. We did not see them, which is very rare to see them to begin with.
Yeah.
But I'd never been exposed to actual real wolves. Just it was like they were just right over there. I could hear them.
Yeah.
And it definitely wasn't coyotes. It was
Yeah.
that next level. It was really cool.
Did you see any aliens?
I think we call them immigrants these days.
No. What's the PC thing, Paul? Interterrestrial beings? What do you call them? I don't know.
No, I did see a massive shooting star at one point. That was
That's
very
freaking
cool.
awesome.
That was pretty cool. So we took off.
Could have been a UAP though.
We took off from there
working right
slightly in the dark. Went ahead and we ran into our first reroute. The first road coming back from Alpine that I had mapped out. We found out that wasn't work. That was a closed access road. So we were actually scouting an alternate. The next road down, it wasn't a major reroute. We were scouting an alternate to see if it would work, and we went up it, and it teed into what was supposed to be the route. Oh, okay, let's just keep going, sort of thing. And we were maybe 30 minutes before dark there and just huddled along without idle speed. Nice rolling terrain, and then the sun came up. Beautiful mountainous area.
Dirt roads, gravel roads.
Almost everything in Arizona that isn't sand is going to qualify for gravel, but even the dirt roads, it's a thick sand aggregate. That's their natural dirt there, which is
It's like
basically,
crushed sandstone.
yeah. It's almost like champagne gravel here. Is just their natural base for most of it.
Did you find out how it deals with the rain?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Very definitely. We'll get there too.
A little foreshadowing.
So this is day one, and trying to remember, man. What is Wi-Fi here? We started in Alpine.
This makes much more sense looking at the map,
Understood.
obviously.
And we ended, the goal was to end in Strawberry. We didn't make that. We covered all of this ground, but that was what we learned from this is that is not where we're going. Basically, the first section from Alpine to this town, Eager, absolutely astounding.
230 miles and 15,000 feet of gain, but 17.8 of loss, or 17.4
Of loss for
So
that.
you're net $2,000.
That
Yes,
it's not going to work out that way because
Sure.
a lot of that was going into this Strawberry, which isn't going to work. See, the end really tails off quickly
Oh,
there.
yeah, I see that. But you're starting
We're starting here, so
and
we,
you lose.
and we
You
lose a
don't-
good
you
bit
don't quite
here.
get it all back. but-
Yeah. So we go up and we go down
Yeah.
and we go all around. But the first section to Eager, absolutely astounding. Plenty of resupply in Eager, so that's not even 45 miles from Alpine. Absolutely astounding.
Did you guys go through Jerome?
It's not ringing any bells.
No. That's where Maynard from Tool.
Oh, funny.
Yeah.
Rich mentioned the same thing. I think we went through that area, but I don't think we went through Jerome Falls.
It's right outside of Sedona.
No, we didn't go
Yeah.
that far north.
Okay.
We did not go that far north.
I think it's Jerome. I could be saying,
I know we didn't go to where Maynard was,
yeah.
and I won't repeat the conversation that,
Oh, it's
that Rich
okay.
and I had about that. So here's the main feature of this route. Here's something I want to touch. We got really lucky. Weather is always a factor. Why we really rushed this trip in. Basically, this is our highest elevation sections, and
Which is what? Like,
8,500 ish. Yeah, maybe even 86. No, we went to 8,900.
okay.
We made it to 8,900 just outside of Alpine. So the stumbling block on this, we're talking avoid midsummer and avoid midwinter. This is the part of Arizona that can get snowed in. And it's not like Colorado where it snowed in from October to July. This is more likely December, January to April,
Yeah.
roughly.
But even in off season of snow, they experience flash floods.
There's potential for flash flood. Their flash floods are usually actually snow melt flash floods. So they'll get a bunch of snow and then they'll heat up to 70 degrees the next day. So the snow will all melt fairly quickly and create a flash flood of its own. And it's actually more of a silt runoff, but it's still, yeah. We actually went through a couple sections on day one that were supposed to be closed, but they hadn't had their first snow this year or one that stuck around.
I think that was the theme throughout Colorado too.
Yeah. So the whole point of this was let's knock this out as quickly as we can, because if we don't get this section out, we're gonna have to wait till June before we can.
Oh yeah, crap. Yeah.
So we wanted to knock this section out with the expectation of once this is the main route we have planned for Arizona, but if needed, I'll come out with a reroute that kind of goes through there and joins back up. That if needed next year now, this works for 2026.
Okay.
If in 2027 snow season, we need to come up with an alternate for somebody that maybe snows come early or somebody
Yeah.
just times it wrong, that gives us time to come up with the alternate down the road if needed.
Dumb question. Instead of having the alternate go north, if you're trying to avoid snow, wouldn't you want your alternate to go southern?
We have to thread this needle right here that stays between the tribal lands. And quite frankly, what I was talking about before, my head is Arizona is all desert. If you go down here, it is.
Yeah.
So then you're riding through sand the whole way.
Huh. I love that changes the whole dynamic of if you're just doing race across Texas, and I don't mean just, but if you're doing race across Texas, tire selection is a big
Oh yeah.
thing. But if you're doing the entirety of Tuba, tire selection is even more of a consideration, and bike selection, obviously.
Tire and bike selection. Yeah, if you're going with one bike, one tire size, realistically, drop bar mountain bike's the right bike.
Yeah.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it. A flat bar mountain bike viable too, with aero bars, obviously,
How
but
about a corner bar bike?
covering all the bases. But yeah, a mountain bike with multiple hand positions. How about that? Is the way to go. Whereas probably east of New Mexico, 2-inch to 2.2s, you could get by with.
Yeah.
If you wanted to be less rolling resistance on the paved sections.
Yeah.
Once you get to Arizona, your 2.4 is a minimum. 2.6 wouldn't be a bad idea.
Wow.
Potentially.
Yeah.
Obviously, depending on road conditions and weather and things like that. But, and quite frankly, let me show you the terrain map. Once we get to Eager, that's fantastic. The riding from Eager up to Vernon, up to
I ride a motorcycle.
Sholo. So there's plenty of resupply all along here. Good stuff.
Like 50 miles?
So let's see. Eager was 40 miles in. Vernon is 80 miles in, so another 40. The Sholo Civilization.
That looked like what's down
Bear
there
with
on
me.
that bottom Lake of the Woods? Or
That,
whatever?
that's Sholo itself. Hold on. Let me make sure I'm looking at this correctly. Oh, that's Sholo side. Okay. Sholo, which is real. Sholo's a real town.
Okay.
Pretty much. And that's what I'm just saying. So 110 miles total. So that's another
That's only 30 miles.
30 miles from Vernon.
Yeah.
And there's other stuff in between. So resupply is not an issue.
Okay.
Resupply is not an issue.
Because I would be concerned with water. Food is a concern as well, but water's, yeah.
I understand water is your security blanket.
It is.
And there's
As
nothing wrong with
discussed.
that. All I'm saying is, yes, plenty of resupply through Arizona. New Mexico is a different story. You're going to have to be able to go 100 miles.
Yeah.
But everybody should still have a filter with them regardless. And even in New Mexico, worst case scenario, and I think we talked about it some, there were stock tanks along the way.
Yeah, you could filter out of
If you had to, you could, and even in those 100-mile sections.
Yeah.
So far at this point, I'm not real concerned about resupply being an issue for any of the route.
Yeah.
Again, assuming that you're able to go 50 to 100 miles fairly confidently.
Yeah.
In Sholo, our big stumbling block is this is a shitty town to ride a bike in from everything I've seen so far. You've got these rivers and these highways, and there was no really great way to get from this side of Sholo over here. And
Without going north, without making that little leg north.
oh, there's no way to do it below because there's tribal lands get in the way there.
Okay.
And I think I have it worked out, but it's going to take another trip to verify that.
Yeah.
And the workaround is one you would like. It's actually going to go through some mountain bike trails.
Oh, that'd be freaking cool.
Let's turn on heat maps there.
Yeah, that looks.
So I can cut across here
Yeah.
and get a little bit of mountain bike trail. And then I can come down to this. All of this through here is closed off because of tribal lands. This gets into the national forest, and I can pick it up here.
Yeah.
And there's still resupply down here. If you want a Hampton Inn, you can go a little further up.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was realistically day one. Our second biggest stumbling block was getting through Sholo, which I think I have worked out now. And then I don't know how this is pronounced, but this is called the Mogollon Rim. So this is
I've
absolutely.
never even seen it printed, much less heard it pronounced.
So
I like the topography.
So you're literally riding along this rim here all the way. And
Sounds really ugly.
oh, it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's horrible. Now, this is where the rental car did, or the rental truck, I should say. This is one of three that we got turned around in it where,
Two-wheel drive?
no, it's four-wheel drive. I had rented a Jeep Wrangler.
Oh, okay.
That was the intent.
Because of the excellent gas mileage?
Oh, yeah. Because of the off-road capability.
Yeah.
And they called me an hour before I was supposed to pick it up. Do you really need a Wrangler? Well, yeah, I really do.
That's why I reserved.
That's why I rented it.
So you take the reservation, you just don't know how to keep the reservation.
Exactly. And they were like, we have an all-wheel drive Jeep Compass that's just as good.
It's the Ford Escort of Jeeps.
I said, no, I need real four-wheel drive.
Yeah.
And then it was like, we have a Nissan Frontier. I said, is it a Pro 4X? A what?
Never mind. Moving on.
They said, we have a GMC and we have an F-150. I said, all right, I'll be there, see what you got. So I found the most capable.
For the record, I would have went GMC.
No, not when you saw this one, you
Oh.
wouldn't have.
Oh.
It had complete street tires, no lift of any kind, and it had the gas efficient air dam that was that far off the ground.
Oh,
That wouldn't have done us much good in this trip.
yeah. You'd have to buy the insurance.
So I wouldn't say it's a super capable four-wheel drive, but it is true four-wheel drive. It had
Yeah.
the most aggressive tires on the lot, which
Yeah.
isn't saying a whole lot.
Yeah.
But we ran into, they had some rain. We knew that.
Yeah.
This part of the rim, we got to a spot that we weren't going to put that truck through. So we doubled back. But
Did you bring any rescue boards
yeah,
or anything?
I brought traction mats and my compressor and some recovery straps and all that good stuff.
Come along?
No, not a come along.
Well, you're not going to have anything to come along to.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's where I was about to go.
Yeah.
Which is all stuff that works fine if you've got somebody with you at the time that can yank you out.
Yeah, or a tree.
Yeah.
But it has to be conveniently placed.
Yeah.
I feel like there's not a lot of trees on this route.
There probably not a lot of sufficient trees when you need it the most.
Yeah.
Because when there's a big mud bog, that means there's nothing else around, generally speaking.
Yeah.
But anyway, we got turned around there. You can't see it because of the mapping, but there is plenty of heat map activity there.
Yeah.
So we know that goes through.
Yeah.
So we went up to the highway and around the mud bog and picked it up over here, which, to be perfectly honest with you, this eastern segment of the rim, it's cool, but mostly you're riding through forest because it is Apache land here, tribal lands. They don't want anybody going right up to the rim. So it's fenced off and it's not cleared out or anything.
Yeah.
So it's sporadic views here and there.
Yeah.
When we get further west, actually, and you can see it in the terrain map.
This is a cool little situation right here. That obviously used to be water. All these little.
Yep. There's all sorts of cool stuff there. And that's, yeah. So we come back on through here. And basically, it's from this point on to basically all the way here. And you can just see the topography is absolutely amazing. What's actually really cool, you can see this section here. That's almost all paved.
Yeah.
It's,
Is that the differentiation between the solid red and the dotted?
yes.
Okay. That's
And Ride with GPS is pretty accurate in Arizona, whereas
Okay.
on Texas, it's not accurate at all.
yeah.
Some states it's very accurate. Arizona is one of the states it's pretty darn accurate.
So this looks like about 70-30.
Bear with me. It will tell us. This stretch is
Small details, man.
6337.
Yeah. Pretty close.
Pretty close. And I say that, but that's with this end section here going all the way down into Strawberry, which this doesn't work.
And it just quickly, why doesn't that work?
Two major reasons.
Mhm.
One, this Highway 89, which is the big downhill with
Yeah.
switchbacks and everything else, narrow road, no shoulders, high speed, high traffic,
Yeah.
and switchbacks.
Yeah. And probably a lot of trailer traffic.
And there's
RVs and shit.
yes,
Yeah.
a lot of trucks and trailers.
Yeah.
The second reason is once we got to Strawberry,
Mhm.
it's a hoity-toity antiquing town, and everything was closed there.
Yeah. They probably roll up shop at 7:30.
No, it was off season. So
Yeah,
basically, they shut down for,
the season.
I don't know what their season is, but everything was, so even though they hadn't had their snow yet, it's like they hire people through December 1st
Yeah.
or whatever. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah.
So Strawberry wasn't viable. So and this is why we scout.
Yeah.
So we learned that resupply wasn't viable.
You're
This
obviously
road
not
was-
going through that canyon to the left, to the west. You can't go through that canyon to the south.
Yeah. Yeah, there was no way to do it.
Yeah.
And then we looked at, and that was a frustrating part because we were supposed to stay in Strawberry that night.
Mm.
But that was the plan
Yeah.
because we thought there would be something. There were a couple of cabins available, but they were minimum 2-night rentals.
What about Pine?
We went down, and then we went down the road to Pine.
Uh-huh.
Pretty much the same situation. So we ended up coming down to Payson. So
Oh,
we ended
wow.
up overnight. It's not as bad as it looks. That's only 20 miles.
No,
Oh, really? Okay.
And I say it's a cool drive. We drove it at night both times.
But that's not going to be on the route.
no, it won't
I
be.
was gonna say, because
That-
then you're cutting out all this beautiful stuff.
Yeah, that was for scouting. You can actually get down from and this is actually AZT stuff that goes through here.
Oh, okay, very cool.
All sorts of options.
Zoom out real quick for perspective and show me where the Grand Canyon is.
Grand Canyon there's Flagstaff. There's the Grand Canyon.
Oh, okay.
Right
Okay.
there.
I just needed a little
So
perspective.
at the end point here, we're almost due south of the main tourist part of the Grand Canyon,
Okay.
but obviously quite a ways away. So what we ended up doing, so we get to Payson, and I know I have to come up with a massive reroute.
But look back. Go back to that map real quick, if you don't mind.
What do you want to look at?
Are you not going to continue on your northward jaunt?
The plan was to head from Strawberry to Camp Verde.
Oh, I like Camp Verde.
And there was a very interesting back road setup that wound up through here. We were not wanting to, the idea was basically come out just east of Camp Verde on this Highway 260 that roll into town. That was the original plan. And that was the big stumbling block because if you look, see, here's towns here. Strawberry's kind of the last town. You got Camp Verde and stuff, but there's nothing.
Yeah.
So eliminating Strawberry,
Oh, I see what you're saying. You're cutting out a supply.
yeah,
Yeah, like even if you made it to Strawberry and you could resupply, that's still a fair distance.
that wasn't bad. That was
Yeah.
doable. Strawberry to Camp Verde was
Yeah.
doable. You needed the Strawberry resupply.
You're not going to have a
ultimately.
spinach tree water table out in Strawberry?
Probably not. Probably not. So we're staying in Payson, and I'm up half the night trying to figure out different ways to do this. And while I'm researching it, then I found out what our original plan through here is not doable to begin with.
For what reason?
The road is completely closed.
Oh,
Definitely wouldn't have been
like
able.
indefinitely
I
or seasonal?
believe the bridge is gone,
Oh, shit. Okay.
and they're not going to replace it. So it's open for hiking. Maybe bicycle riding, I don't know, but there was no way that we were going to be able to scout it and verify it in the
Oh,
truck
yeah, that's
because
fair.
we did not bring a bike with us.
Yeah.
But at that point, we knew we weren't going to Strawberry anyway.
Yeah.
So that kind of forced our hand. And what was originally supposed to wind this way.
But wait, back up just a second.
Sure.
If you're scouting this in January and you're saying it was closed because of seasonal, people would realistically be coming through there if they adhered to your schedule recommendation to be coming
Nope,
through.
nope. I'm not sending anybody down that highway into Strawberry.
Okay. I thought you were just going on the fact that you couldn't get resupply there. Okay, I forgot about the highway component.
No, safety
Sorry.
component is the major component.
I forgot about that. Sorry.
No, that's all right. No, perfectly valid question. Will some people, because it is almost all downhill. So if you're a 50 mile an hour downhill rider, comfortable riding switchbacks that way, and you don't care
Yeah.
if there's a semi on your ass that's losing its brakes,
Well,
you're welcome to go for that.
It doesn't interest me.
I'm not sending you that way.
It doesn't interest me.
I am not sending you that way. What we came up with, and I believe this actually includes my Sholo reroute, maybe.
Speaking of low, what about Winslow?
That will be on our snow route.
Okay.
Our snow weather route will go through Winslow.
Uh-huh.
What we ended up doing was rerouting. This is where the rim comes out onto that highway for literally 1 mile. And it's a level part of it, no guardrails.
This is great radio, by the way.
I understand. I'm describing it.
Yeah, I know.
1 mile of that road that I was so concerned about. And then we catch Forest Road here. And we made it to about here and found another mud hole. So then we had to wind around. And this was really neat riding. Oh, and that was the thing. And as we got up early, Monday morning, this is Monday morning, day 2 scouting. We got up early Monday morning, again, pre-dawn, but I checked the weather and there were storms rolling right through here. So now we get to scout in the rain.
Get to proof the roads.
Yeah. And the roads themselves were perfectly good. Every place. Oh, and that's one thing, that this whole western section of the rim from the day before, standing water everywhere on either side of the road.
Wow.
Literally just like swamp. And it didn't look like they had recent rain. So I think what happens out there is it rains but it's all volcanic substrate underneath it. So there's nowhere for the water to
It's
seep.
not super porous.
So it stands.
That doesn't track with all the sand though.
This isn't sand here.
it's
This
not.
is the mountainous part.
Oh, okay.
And so that avoids the sand. The roads themselves were fine. And even the parts we got turned around in the truck, bicycle would have had no problem.
Okay.
You could have either, if you had to go up in the woods and around for 50 yards at the most,
Yeah.
and realistically, you probably could have picked your way through one slot on the road.
Yeah.
But that truck wasn't going to make it. It was mud bogs all the way across where people keep pushing it further out, trying to go around the puddle and making the bigger
Yeah.
puddle.
Yeah.
But the bigger storms came through that morning. So this was all super wet, but we drove 90% of it. Then we came out, found a way out here, went back this way. So we saw that it did go all the way through and ran into the same thing on this section here. The shortcoming of this route. So basically from mile, what is that? 18 to Camp Verde, which was roughly mile 40. That is all of this Highway 260, but it's all, you can see it's almost all downhill,
Yeah.
and it was very little traffic on it. Very scenic, very cool. There just aren't really any
And a decent
alternates.
shoulder.
Narrow shoulder, tolerable,
Yeah.
tolerable. I'm
Asphalt, concrete.
asphalt,
Yeah.
asphalt. It's 55-mile-an-hour road for most of it, but it's almost all, it's not tight, twisty.
Yeah.
Plenty of sight line for anybody coming up behind you. Some spots with wider shoulders, some spots with narrow shoulder, very little traffic.
Quick sidebar. Did you guys come back interstate? Yeah. And was it just potholed to hell and back?
In New Mexico,
Is that New Mexico I was thinking of? There were, when we were coming back from California, there was potholes like the sizes of tires and
that's
stuff.
in New Mexico there was.
Okay.
And what interstate did you come back? We came back 40. We didn't go down to 10.
I can't remember. I think
Understood.
it was 40. Yeah, because we went through Santa Fe.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it was freaking awful. Like 18-wheelers swerving to avoid gigantic potholes. It was awful. It looked like they just did a shit job of doing the road, and then the snow and stuff got in there and then refroze and cracked the roads, and it just looked like a poor job. Sorry. Back to it.
Perfectly good. And we'll truncate it from here. I'll hit the, for lack of a better term, just the high spots and the low spots for the trip from it. That kind of outlines what that 3 days at scouting was. Just more of that give and take, give and take. We ran into a couple of spots that we got turned around in the truck, but generally speaking, the mapping worked out fantastic. Two things we need to verify going forward. Our next mountain crossing, actually, I do want to bring this up. Actually, leaving Camp Verde, this section all the way through here, this might be one where actually the pavement ratio isn't right on this map, because this is mostly dirt here. So maybe right with GPS, paved versus unpaved isn't as accurate as I thought it was in Arizona. This was really cool foothills riding through all of this, and
That's a lot of elevation right there.
there is some good elevation.
187 miles, and you've got 14,000 feet of gain, but 18,000 feet of loss.
Yes, you're having some fun.
Yeah.
You have. So here's what was really cool. This was absolutely astounding. But this was also another turnaround that we ran into in that truck that I have to verify one small gap. This is showing, this shows this is all dirt here. Anyway, this is all dirt here. Yeah, these ratios are way off. This road going, I'll do it down here that's all uphill, right?
Yeah.
It shows it is paved. It's most definitely not paved.
Yeah.
So what we go from 31, call it 3,200 to 6,500
Oh, wow.
in
In about 10 miles.
about 20, I think,
Oh, okay.
from 97 miles to 116,
Oh, okay. So 20.
19, 20 miles. What that is, that's going up to an old gold mine.
Very cool.
And what it is, it's a switchback road that was originally the ore train road. So it's at rail grade. So you're going up this whole thing on switchbacks at not a crazy grade.
Yeah.
So you're going all the way up,
Yeah, like 6%.
10% less or less. I wasn't keeping the knot. Yeah, but it's not a crazy grade by any stretch. And a very well maintained grade. Absolutely. And then we get to this little town in the middle of nowhere called Crown King. And look at all the resupply that's here. There was a couple restaurants, there was lodging and so forth, cabins. And they even had,
They weren't folded up seasonally?
no, they weren't. They were active.
Very cool.
And they even had 24-hour vending machines with Gatorade and stuff like that. So
Interesting.
Crown King was a winner. Here was the issue, though. At Crown King, yeah, we made it to, I think, mile 117. And this was getting into, and that wasn't the peak. So we're mile 117. We came up just short of the peak, but we were getting,
I want to see this big switchback up here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's all the rail line and everything like that. But you see over here, and this is the biggest pitches up and down to get to the peak.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have those switchbacks here. That truck was not the right truck
Yeah.
for that. So basically,
Should have gone with the compass.
exactly. They knew what they were talking about. So basically, mile 118, we haven't seen from there to probably mile 125. We haven't seen this section yet. So like I have to go back specifically to scout that. That's to the peak of the mountain and then down to about here.
Yeah.
We went all the way out. We actually went all the way out and around. Oh, come on, get off. All the way around Prescott and came down to this and backwards. So we checked all of this out, and there's a hole there that needs to be verified. That's why I'm not making it official. There's heat map there. I'm confident it goes through. I just haven't verified it in person.
But the problem with heat maps is they don't expire. Like that road that you said is closed, it's still going to have a heat map.
Well,
to
from
it.
hikers too.
Yeah.
So I'm confident a bicycle will get through this.
Yeah.
I'm not positive a bicycle will.
Yeah.
So I'm
Tell
going to,
people, you know,
I'll
we
go
hold
back
it
out
for.
there with my tributary and verify that if I have to, or I'll put together an Arizona meetup in the area. We ended up staying overnight that night in, what town was it? Started with a W. Where is it? Wickenburg. Because then when we came down this way after verifying, this was another highway, 89. This was our biggest stumbling block the whole trip, the highways. What looked like they should be safe roads when you looked at the aerial views and the street views, because you can't check every inch.
Yeah.
So you spot check it. Oh, well, there's a wide shoulder there. That'll be okay. And there's heat map activity. So people do ride their bikes here. But then when you ride that or drive that whole stretch, it's like that. I just happened to find the 3 spots where there was a wide shoulder. There were other spots where they had cut through the mountainside. So there was no shoulder. They had a guardrail right there on the road.
Yeah.
It's super fast traffic. And then you have vertical rock face right there.
Okay.
So
Is that where
we had to take 89 out. So we couldn't go down through Yarnell. So then what I came up with the next day was a reroute that went around here. This was one of our Bob Ross happy little accidents. That's absolutely amazing. So we come out here the same way. We just go around this way now. And then from that town, Congress, from Congress on, then it turns into Arizona and becomes desert. And basically from that point on was our last day of scouting. And then it was navigating through the desert and finding hard packed ways to do that. And we got turned around on one major sand road there that is calling for a major reroute. But I think I figured that out. So I have to do one more trip just to fill in 3 little gaps and verify those. And then Arizona's done. What I think we're going to do is put together some To the Trail Founder Brick meetup rides. People that have, because we've had a lot of people from Arizona that have joined with the Founders Bricks. And so we'll say, hey, we're going to be in Arizona to check these sections in June. Come meet us then or whatever. This part here, actually, basically, we're good from Congress to Linden. So that's all good. We just have, and
Where's the state line?
right here is the Colorado River.
Okay.
So we're good to Wendon, and we're good from Quartzsite to Blythe. So I just have to fill in this hole from Wendon to Quartzsite. This was too much desert that we got turned around in. The road was impassable.
Yeah.
Not just in the truck. You would not want to walk a bike for 40 miles to go through that.
Yeah. I don't want to walk a bike for 40 miles anywhere.
No, that's my point. I think I found a workaround from Wyndham to Quartzsite. And so we just need to verify. That's the biggest hole, but I think I found the solution for that already. So that's the Arizona trip in a nutshell. The big takeaway is I was absolutely gobsmacked by how amazing so much of Arizona was. It was, like I said, the limited exposure I'd had to it. I really dug the Flagstaff, Munns Park area, Sedona.
Yeah. Sedona's freaking awesome.
Everything else that we came across the rest of the state is comparable to Colorado for what I thought was just overall beauty and majesty. Yeah. And it was Arizona folks, y'all are lucky.
Yeah.
That's absolutely astounding there. So there's no doubt that is Arizona's the high point of the Tuba Trail at this point. I think it'll stay there. I think that will be the gem of the run. The rest of it's good. I'm not knocking the rest of it. New Mexico's outstanding.
Yeah.
I have high hopes for California when we get there.
Texas is pretty cool.
Texas is very cool, but it's not in Arizona.
Yeah.
There's the rest of it, and that's part of why I think it makes the most sense to go east to west, because you want to build up to those western sections.
Yeah.
If you start west to east and knock out the amazing stuff on the front end,
it's all downhill.
It's all downhill. It
literally and figuratively.
Yeah, I can see where that would be problematic on a motivational basis if you start to get into a dark place.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's, I just gotta see the Mogollon Rim. What is it? Mogollon? Mogollon, I do believe.
N-O-G. What? Say it one more time.
Mogollon. I believe.
Go Mogollon.
Maybe. I don't know.
Final answer.
It's astounding. Absolutely amazing.
Justin Carey already told me that he's going to do the Tuba in 12 days.
Wow.
So,
wait a minute. What's the record on Tour Divide? 13 days?
13, I think. Yeah. I'm obviously kidding.
I hope you are, but are you obviously? Justin throws shit like that out there. So that's the Arizona. How much? Shit, I talked way too long on that. Sorry.
Well, it's okay.
Where are we?
It was interesting for me. The people at home hate it.
Probably. Let's talk about something else. Let's talk about business. We need to talk about something important.
Wait, first of all, I forgot. I have a piece of bike information, though.
Okay.
Back to Surly, because we were talking about corner bars.
Yeah.
It's a fairly substantiated rumor that I heard. I think we talked about this. The Karate Monkey is going away.
Okay.
And from what I understand, what's their other shit? Not the ogre.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Anyway,
they're plus size.
Yes.
Bike.
Krampus? No.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The
Krampus
is going away as well, and they're going to combine those two platforms, which they're very similar. If it's not the Krampus, whatever the other bike is, are very similar. They almost cross over geometry-wise.
Okay.
And then they're going to come out with a new model, and I can't remember. I heard the name once, and I can't remember the name of it, but I do have that on very good sources.
Okay.
So if you're looking for a Karate Monkey, if you've thought about a Karate Monkey, it's now or never.
Now or never.
As far as
do we know when this new thing's supposed to come out?
I think this year.
Okay. What do we know any details on it? What it's trying to do as opposed to the?
I think they're just trying to combine those two platforms.
So what would that most like? Would that be like a Sendero type platform?
I would imagine they're going to go towards that route. My hope and thought is, because we've never had a titanium Karate Monkey, it's always been steel. And Surly hasn't put out a lot of titanium, if they put out any.
Have they ever put out titanium?
Well, maybe they
I don't think they have.
Maybe they haven't. I was thinking about Salsa for a second. I crossed over.
Gotcha.
But I was thinking if they eliminated two models and came out with one model, that maybe they would produce a tie. But you're right. I don't think Salsa.
Or would they maybe move the Timberjack type thing over to Surly?
That's a possibility too. I don't know.
That would make sense, actually.
Yeah.
To move, they wouldn't call it the Timberjack anymore, but basically move that platform.
I think they're going to go to more of it's definitely going to be a bike packing friendly. Not that a Karate Monkey's not bike packing friendly, but I think
Timberjack's very bike packing friendly.
What was the model that Salsa put out that had the huge front triangle?
Oh, yeah. Cross something or something. I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, crap.
And this makes for great radio too.
100%, 100%. But I just wanted to touch on that because I did find out that is absolutely happening. And Karate Monkey frames are getting less and less by the minute.
Okay.
But back to what we were talking about.
We need to talk business, and thanks to Mr. Waldschmidt for reminding me of this. So what is this thing that Spinistry and Fam are doing together with the pie lady at the pie house? I said, that's a darn good question. I need to nail Brad down on that, see what that may or may not look like. You want to maybe spitball some ideas on what we might be able to do, combine Fam, combine Spinistry, but give a unique experience from a writing and culinary perspective for people?
I think we're just going to interlace good food with good writing, and it's going to be a multi-day format.
I don't know. That's what we need to spitball.
I like the aspect that we did between 4R and Ponderosa. I guess it was, you would call it an out and back.
It was a loop.
Yeah, and so it's a loop. But we had two different points of interest.
Right.
We camped one night and went to one place and camped, or rented a cabin, and then took a completely different route back to the beginning.
Yeah, everybody left their vehicles at 4R. We camped there the first night, had food, had breakfast the next morning, and without coffee. We have to fix that.
It's going to get fixed.
And then went to Ponderosa and had an amazing meal and overnight experience there.
R.I.P. Ponderosa.
Still there, the property, but new owners. And at the moment, we haven't been invited.
Yeah, I have zero contact with them. I don't even know who the new owners are.
Okay, that's fine.
Allegedly, my contact information was given to the new owners with the hopes that they would reach out to me because supposedly they were going to continue with the same business format.
Sure.
However, I haven't heard from anybody.
Understood.
So I would imagine that if they're going to do something similar, there's probably getting ready to ramp up for the spring.
So that said, while I do that format myself, I did enjoy that. I don't think it's a mass appeal situation. I think
What do you envision then?
I don't know. And that's what we need.
Because I'm like caulk. I can just fill in the cracks. If you tell me how many meals, how many people, I can puzzle all that out.
I understand.
I need to know what the ride component is going to be.
So I'll be honest with you. I'm thinking we figure out a hybrid approach where people that want to do that multi-day experience, offer that option to them. But people that don't want to do that, we have an option where they can show up at the pie house and ride a one-day ride and finish at the pie house and meet the multi-day people and have a good meal together afterwards. And maybe even those one-day people stay overnight and camp, and we have a bike packing powwow, bike packing 101, or talk through it, sit around the campfire after a good meal and talk about everybody's experiences on the bike. So even one-day riders that maybe aren't up to doing a multi-day ride, if they want to try out some camping with a group that does have that experience, everybody hangs out there that night. And the diehards, for lack of a better term, pedal back somewhere the next day. And the ones that were just there for the day trip, either they left after dinner and just went home, or they camped with us at night and then they pack up and go home from there.
I like that.
Does a hybrid approach like that work for you?
Yeah. And my thought is the more people, the merrier. So whatever gets the most people riding their bikes and or camping is my preference.
Understood.
Because I love the challenge of feeding more people as well.
Maybe a goal of...
Because I liked also what we did in Terlingua, where we all camped and had a meal there.
To be honest with you, those are the ones that I would like to find the formula to do more like that.
Yeah.
But I think it has to be just a formulaic. This is how we do it, but we're going to do it here. And that was what Rich and I worked on. We talked through it on the drive back because it was 12 hours of driving yesterday.
Rich is not a talker, though. How did y'all fill in the gap?
But so, like, I have 2026 set up. So we have one standard Spinistry event each month, like the Texas Chainring Massacre. We have a traditional single-day gravel event. And then we have an adventure event each month is the plan. And the pie ride weekend would fall under this.
Yeah.
What I also want to do, though, is do these Tuba Trail meetups and introduce people in Louisiana, New Mexico, Arizona, Georgia to portions of the Tuba Trail.
Yeah.
And hey, come meet us out here. And we just load up the van and do the Terlingua type experience with that group.
Yeah, that'd be hella cool.
So that's the formula I want to find.
Yeah.
So where we can just load up everything in the van. You ride bikes with them that day, and I meet at the end point with the van, and we set up the chuck wagon like we've talked about.
I love it.
There.
I love that.
So that's so we worked out.
So that would be like, just thinking out loud, that would be like, and I'm thinking obviously selfishly about my part.
Sure.
That would be breakfast, lunch on your own, and then dinner.
It may just be dinner.
Yeah.
It may, I don't know, and that's why we have to figure out what that formula is.
Yeah, the problem, like, if you deal with like serious cyclists, what I'm thinking of, like the Austin Whittingtons, and they're very specific about what they want for breakfast before they ride, call it 60 miles or 80 miles or whatever. But dinner's a lot more forgiving, if you will. We're still going to work with dietary restraints as long as they're not ridiculous. As long as you're like,
I think,
no gluten, no dairy, no.
And I could be wrong.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I think at least the first round of them in these Tuba meetups, since it's we'll be pointing it to people that are already Tuba brick founders and so they're contributed, familiar with the process, so they already have an interest.
Sure.
I don't think it's the Matt and Lauren Stevens and the Austin Whittingtons that are the ones that are our audience's first round, but I think it will set up the second time we do one of those meetups in that same area where it will bring a more diverse community.
Yeah.
We're going to have a lot of Rich Waltzmans and Matt Golsons would be my guess.
Yeah.
But that's just a guess. I could be wrong. And I'm only bringing that up. I think we don't have to overanalyze what the meals, we just want them to be really good meals.
Yeah.
And I don't have any doubt.
That's a given.
So I'm trying to think, what we roughed out is January will be a Florida, Georgia meetup. I don't expect you to be for that one. It's way too short notice. We're thinking about maybe doing a Louisiana one in February, potentially. We'll talk about that next week. If you're on board with that general, and I'm not saying you have to make every single one of these. I'm planning from a Tuba promotion to have these meetups with these people on a monthly basis throughout the year in those states along the Tuba Trail. And the ones that you can make,
I would love to be involved in as many of
them. And that's all. And that's why I'm saying general months that are ideal for those particular states is from a weather perspective and things like that.
Yeah.
I have those kind of roughed out, but I don't have dates nailed down in those months by any stretch. We can work on that. So
I've got to get my February dates set up. I'm hoping to talk to my wife about that today, because I need to announce February dates.
Understood.
For FAM, and I'm planning on having a pasta class in February as well, and I want to do that before.
Do you do your classes on the weekends, or are those?
I historically, have always done them on a Thursday.
Okay.
Just because it seems to work out better with my schedule and everybody else's schedule. But I want to do my pasta class for Valentine's Day. That way, if someone wants to make their significant other homemade pasta as a gesture,
makes sense,
then it's a double dipping kind of situation.
So let me see if I can see what rough months that I did nail down with Rich. Because
can you talk for a second?
One of the stops of the trail was in Flagstaff?
No.
Oh, you were just hanging out there.
I'd spent previous time in Flagstaff and loved the area. It's a gorgeous area.
Yeah, that's what I would live there for you if we weren't here.
Nico, do you have coffee made? Made?
I could make you a latte.
I can just do coffee.
Espresso machine.
Yeah, I can do espresso. Okay. Yeah, I would love. I've got a cup even.
Okay.
Dusty Roads Bicycle.
Yeah.
You need to come here.
And
barista. Oh, I got a new coffee toy.
What, a new coffee toy?
New coffee toy.
Iced or hot, Brad?
Dealer's choice.
It's up to you, man. I only drink ice, but if you want hot, I can make it hot.
Yeah, I like hot.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect.
Are you familiar with the Hario switch? It's a pour over device. So it's a pour over, but it has a switch in the bottom of it, so you can do a traditional pour over, or you can block off the drainage, and it'll hold it and be an immersion brewer at that point.
So,
So-
you're like steeping it and then bottom draining.
Yep.
Okay.
So
What's it called? A Hario?
Hario V60 is that's the main pour over
I have to admit,
device
I
that
have
people use.
completely ignorant when it comes to pour over.
That's fine.
I've either done AeroPress, French press, or Cowboy.
Understood. I'm a French press fan
Same.
for the type of coffee I drink. I am a French press detractor from the cleanup perspective. It's
Oh, my assistant handles all of that.
I appreciate that. My assistant does not. So,
My beautiful-
and my assistant, if I don't properly clean it quickly enough, lets me know how much of a pain in the ass the French press is.
My beautiful bride, I don't know how I lucked into this, but she brings me coffee to bed almost every morning.
Yeah. There's no reason to be picky at that point.
And she likes the French press.
I
So-
love French press coffee. I really do.
Yeah, French press is good. I used to be like all about the cold brew. So I did French press, cold brew. I would do like cold brew sit for a couple of days. I was like all about mixing it. But
Yeah.
dude, you make some cold brew that's like nitrous gas and your stomach starts to
Yeah.
yeah. That's honestly why I switched. I was like,
It will jack you up.
Dude, it got to a point where I was making it. I was like, oh my gosh.
I'm down to one. I'm 1 cup a day now.
Okay. I never realized how much caffeine was in cold brew versus just regular
Well,
coffee.
then when you get cold brew at places like Starbucks and stuff where they let it
I don't
sit,
go to Starbucks.
Dude, you're like, what? I used to like travel a lot. People
Yeah.
bring us at races.
Yeah.
You're shaky, man. You
Yeah.
can tell it's bad coffee. You're like, oh my gosh.
My one shaky coffee story is I was Christmas shopping at the Galleria and I went to, I guess it's Nordstrom's that has the coffee shop out front that's still attached to the store. And I ordered a double espresso, which was my typical order. And the girl goes, all of our espressos are double. And I go, everybody says that. Give me a double. And she goes, okay. And then
She goes, I'll show you, bitch.
so I ordered, I go back and I wait. And she calls my name and I go and get it. And she goes, I accidentally made you a triple. And I go, no big deal. No big deal. Used to a double. I'll drink a triple. No big deal. So I drink this coffee and then proceed to get all of my Christmas shopping done. I am in full blown sweats because I'm so amped. I go home and wrap every one of my presents and I was literally done. But besides the commute, I was done with all my Christmas shopping in one swift go of probably combined effort about, I don't know, an hour and a half. And I was like, maybe this is the way to do it. But I was so jacked for so long, like probably to the order of 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah.
And then the crash was just done. I was like, I couldn't even function after that. But I've never been that spiked by caffeine. So
Some places you go to Kellogg, I've done it before. Let me get a quad shot. Are you sure? I'm like, yeah, it's a busy day. I'll clock myself like only a quarter drink of it.
amp to the teat.
All right. So here's our tentative tuba meetup schedule. Florida, Georgia, January or early February, probably around Lake City area. Looking to do a Louisiana pop-up ride near Shreveport, February, March. We'll try for.
So just a question, you skipped Alabama, Georgia, Mississippi.
Florida, Georgia together.
Oh, okay.
It's North Florida, South.
And you're not going to touch Alabama. You have
we
to touch
we
Alabama.
go through Alabama. We're getting there.
Sorry.
Let me
well,
look
you
through-
went from Florida to Louisiana.
No, we're going seasonally. That lines up with other stuff as well.
That's fair. I just
Alabama gets cold in February in parts of it.
yeah.
Louisiana
I see
less.
it, Domingo.
Louisiana, generally speaking, less so. That looks like a winner. Florida, Georgia, January or early February.
Uh-huh.
Louisiana pop up, and it's going to be a true pop up, right? It's going to be weather based, and that's also why we're able to. I can hop, skip, and jump to Shreveport.
Yeah.
I can't hop, skip, and jump to Alabama.
Yeah.
I have to plan for an Alabama trip. February, March. That's going to be somewhere in there, depending on how the rest of the calendar comes together. And if this works out for you, fantastic. This will be the California scouting. Somewhere in February, March will be California scouting trip, where we, like Rich and I just did Arizona. This is where we finish tuba February. That's the goal, is to finish the tuba in California on that February, March scouting trip. Probably, but that might be a longer trip. And I'm going to try very hard to twist my wife's arm to join me on that one and do the multi-day camping in the van thing
With the dogs.
with the dogs
Yeah.
and bring the tributary, because this is one that the way it's currently routed, there might be a lot of it that can be covered in the van, or there's some Are you familiar with the San Diego area, Nico?
Oh yeah, I lived
He's
there for 8 years.
from San Diego.
That's what I thought. So it looks like there's a pretty long bike path, bike trail east of town going towards the desert. Are
Yeah,
you
so,
familiar with
go
that?
to San Diego, La Mesa, Alpine. You could ride those roads. So I'm sure there's paths, but it's called like the Sunrise Highway and a bunch of those, and they're all biker friendly. I've never personally bike packed out past there, but yes, there is a ton of rats.
Well, I mean, there's a bike trail
Oh yeah,
that goes all the way through there,
I
right?
believe it. Yeah, yeah.
Did you live in San Diego proper?
I was in downtown San Diego, but all the trails. Everyone says they live in San Diego. Carl, bad. I lived in downtown San Diego, in Adams Avenue, where all the bike shops are at.
Okay. Because I think of Escondido and Oceanside.
No, I was at Balboa Park. I watched this place fly. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Balboa Park has a cyclocross course and mountain bike, but
Yeah.
Highway 8 is what runs right out of downtown San Diego to like San Diego State towards La Mesa and Alpine and all those
Yeah.
going towards Arizona. And that's where all the mountain bike trails are at.
I think these
Laguna
are.
Canyon, Noble
I
Canyon.
think these are actually gravel paths.
Yeah, that's all, dude.
Gravel
I would
paths.
love to check that area out.
Yeah, so that's-
Were you there when Sculpin was a big thing?
Yo, Ballast Point, man.
Yeah, Ballast Point.
Actually, that was when we lived the whole time when Ballast Point was the big, and then as they fell down, and that's actually when I moved out. But Ballast Point in downtown San Diego has changed the craft brew scene. man.
And what was the craft brewery that was right
Stone.
next? No. Stone is way down in Escondido.
Stone's in Escondido. They also had one in the naval base in downtown San Diego. It's called Stone World
But
Bar.
what was the one that was right next to San Diego Stadium? They had the large format cans. They had Shipwrecked was one of their beers.
And so there was Green Flash, there was Ballast Point, there was Stone, there was Avery, there was
Avery's good.
Avery's in Colorado.
Avery. I thought that's gonna be.
No, Avery's out of Colorado.
I think you're right. I'm not positive.
Right.
Okay. Anyway, great radio.
Yeah, my bad.
Mission Brewery.
Mission, that's it,
Brewery.
yeah.
Mission's huge. But no, Ballast Point and Stone had the two big restaurants.
Yeah.
Like by the water and.
Yeah, I've been to both of them.
Dude, those are
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, yeah. Especially Stone had great food. They were-
Oh, amazing food.
Yeah.
Great location, too.
I'm enjoying that thing when you guys go to San Diego. That's-
It will be more than a day, trust me. Yeah, so February, March, basically that's when we're hoping to finish
Yeah.
the Tuba Trail in California.
And release it.
Not quite, because
Okay.
we're getting there.
Yeah, that's fair.
So February, March, and that's part of these meetups too, is I want to introduce the locals to these particular areas. And some of the meetups might be to fix some of the spots that we want to fine tune and get the local riders involved that, because I've
Local
had,
intel.
yeah, I've had so many people say, oh, I've got lots of routes out that way. I appreciate that. I want to build it for myself, but then I know over time we're going to get local feedback. That's really cool that you did this section, but if you just went 2 miles east of it,
Yeah.
you
that
really
makes
could have
sense.
caught this.
That makes sense.
So I want to add those Easter eggs along the way, and the in-person getting to know each other is going to help with that.
Yeah.
So February, March,
And plus, they all deserve to meet Rich.
or you,
Yeah, that's true.
February, March is when we expect to have the preliminary Tuba Trail done. April is when we'll do a Mississippi, Alabama meetup. It could be one day, the other the next sort of thing. Plan is to be back in Arizona in June and tie up those holes because we know the snow will be gone by then.
How hot is it going to be in Arizona in June?
The sections that we're concerned about are the snow holes, so that's actually the best time to do
Oh, okay.
those.
And
That's
you said those are at elevation,
yes, yeah,
right? Okay.
it's
All right.
it's going to be a fantastic time to be in
Perfect.
those parts of Arizona. So we'll do an Arizona meetup in June. September, we're going to do, as opposed to February, is going to be a pop-up ride near Shreveport. September, we're going to do a Louisiana
Oh, Ratchet
Pop-
City.
proper meetup that we can talk up from now to September and really get the Louisiana group involved. October will be RAT, so that's the Texas Tuba
Yep.
meetup. And then November will be a California Tuba meetup and New Mexico Tuba meetup. And with the idea of California, we expect to have a complete and official route, but that will give time for people in the local area to digest it and help us fine tune that last California stretch.
So, dumb question.
Yep.
Are on each of these meetups, sorry, you're planning on riding a section of the tuba, and are you planning on riding them in the direction that they're intended to be ridden?
The idea is to do what we call tuba loops.
Okay. Much like the rat loops.
The rat loops are the origin of the tuba loop.
Right.
So the same concept where
That makes sense.
we're going to have a 50-mile stretch that goes from this town to that town that's on the route.
So it'll be from resupply to resupply.
Resupply to
basically.
resupply, and then back to where we started
Okay.
on a
I like
slightly
that.
different route.
I like that. Okay.
With the idea of when you're available, whatever this meetup or whatever the overnight spot is, or whatever the midpoint spot is, probably a better way to. No, actually,
The return spot.
the return spot. Now that I'm thinking, the staging spot will be the finish spot, and that's where we'll have food.
Yeah.
And maybe it's 25 or 30 people.
Yeah.
But
I like that.
and again, that's why these are the months I'm looking at doing each of those areas. If any of those areas is I really want to do that one, then I'll be your
I'm in
bitch.
for any and all that I can swing.
I understand. So that's what I'm saying. If there's something that you want to build a date around for a specific one, let me know, and we'll make your schedule the primary for that. On the others, when I know my schedule, I'll say we're going to be here this date and there that date. You let me know which ones you can tag along. But if you want to do Arizona, or if you want to do California,
Love to do California.
all right, that's what we'll do. California meetup, Nico. You're obligated next November. You're going on a road trip with us to California for the California Tuba meetup. Okay,
This
November, California.
This November.
This year.
26th,
Perfect.
November 26th. We're going to do a big tuba ride meetup in California.
You know what? And that's Thanksgiving time, so I might be able to just make that a trip to.
There you go.
That'd be
There
cool.
you go.
Dude, honestly, I would love to because when I left Weird Strong, but with all that growth of the ride out there, I'd love to ride that section.
So you on board with all that, Bradford?
Is it now?
Can you email me that list?
I will.
Or
I
text
will.
it to me,
Is
whatever.
that trail part of the Stagecoach Trail at all?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
So all I have in California is a very rough draft map
Okay.
that may work. To be honest with you, I didn't dig down to all the details of it yet
I have some maps of California that aren't rough drafts.
because I needed to make sure where Arizona finished.
Yeah.
Because if I had to make sure we could get out through Blythe first,
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Yeah, that's really the 3 came through Blythe. Okay.
and then once I know where I come out of Arizona, then it's okay. Now we're going to fine tune
yeah.
how to get to San Diego.
Because the Stagecoach 400 is the very popular mountain bikepacking race in San Diego, and I think it goes like basically to the border and out. I'm sure that's part of the trail.
It may be.
That's better to come through San Diego rather than going up like Orange County, like over through San Bernardino.
Originally, that's the way I had it route because I was coming. Our original route came from Vegas and through the Mojave Desert and over the mountains. And originally, it was going to end at Santa Monica Pier.
Yeah, so a lot of people do that one. A lot of the
Yeah,
LA groups.
But the reality, it didn't. It makes more sense to go more south.
The people that do that, I've seen that LA group. They do the Vegas to LA, and they literally ride the freeway. You know?
Oh, no.
I'd rather do the San Diego one where it's like trail. And like they did that one. It was the whereabouts where they did Route 66. And when they got to California, they went through Vegas and they were just riding the freeway like into LA. And it's like, oh, dude.
No,
That's crazy.
that's not what we're doing
No,
here.
and then San Diego's better than Santa Monica too. I can promise you'll be a better Indian. Santa Monica,
What?
you'll get
So
there, you'll just be
okay,
mad.
so you're
Yeah.
the San Diego expert. Where do we want to end at the Pacific Ocean? Where do we want to end in San Diego?
It would be direct downtown San Diego, Balboa Park, because if you come through La Mesa and you come through that stuff, the bike path at 95% is going to drop you by San Diego State. And San Diego State is just a hill, and you just go all the way down to San Diego. And Balboa Park is on the water. It's where the airport's at. So you could choose, but that would probably be the most iconic where you come into downtown San Diego and you have the Mission Bay with the naval station and everything. So you could literally.
Is there a beach there?
Oh yeah. Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
no,
no, downtown is a little bit like Mission Bay would have the sandy beaches, right, which is a quarter mile just
Okay.
up the road.
We need to end at a beach. That's all I'm getting at.
Absolutely. And downtown San Diego, I tell people that Portland and San Diego are probably the two best that you could ride your bike through the whole city, connecting everywhere.
Oh, beautiful.
Safely. Like,
Beautiful.
that's we rode when I lived in San Diego. We rode from downtown almost to Carlsbad, where we worked at a shop every day, back and forth, and it was bike lanes all the way there, back and forth. So
I think
once-
San Diego's the right place to
once you
end.
land
Yeah.
in San Diego, I would say aim for San Diego State because it's very commuter friendly. It'll take you directly into the city, and you can honestly right there where you can watch the planes come over your arm out. And if anyone needs to hop on a train or anything, Amtrak's right there. You have all that, but
That makes even more sense.
it's San Diego State, man. As soon as you get that, you got taco shops. You got some of the best. You can literally make it a whole day getting down.
Sold.
Speaking of tacos, last San Diego question: did you ever eat at Bull Taco?
No, I don't think it's around anymore.
So out here, being a San Diego taco fan, there's a family. It's in Irving, and it's called San Diego Taco. I think it's the brothers of
Really?
El Gordo or Gordo's Tacos, which is the big popular one from Tijuana that's in San
Yeah.
Diego. One of the family members moved out here, and they live in Irving, and it's called San Diego Taco Shop, and it's very similar. It's not real, but because we were talking about.
Have you been? You've been there?
I haven't been there. I know it's in Irving. But it's the family of Gordo's Tacos, and they're like, dude, Irving has a lot of.
We should take a field trip.
I know we should. Irving has all the good food spots right here because of just a lot of the culturalness out there.
The best one's just up the road.
Which one? Oh yeah.
I have been known to make some good tacos. As a matter of fact, I was watching videos last night to up my tortilla game.
There you go.
Picked up some tips and tricks that I can't wait to do.
That's it. Honestly, with the barbecue scene out here, I like making tacos out of all the barbecue. And I guess Tex-Mex, but tacos out here are really good. It's different.
That's my favorite thing to do when I have leftover brisket is to make brisket tacos.
Literally, the things I buy at the store, I buy gluten-free hamburger buns, taco shells, and then whatever's in the fridge and make dinner off of that. And as soon as she says I got the Blackstone, because you just make tacos, right?
Yeah.
You feel like you're at a taco shop, right? You're
Yeah.
sitting out there.
Yeah, the Blackstone, so much fun. Speaking of which, I fired up my pizza oven last night.
You what?
Fired up my pizza
Oh,
oven
fired
last
up your
night
pizza oven.
and made some pizzas. Doing it again on Saturday. But this was my pizza last night, my personal pizza.
Okay. What all is that?
So it's oil-cured olives, a homemade Italian sausage, thick cups pepperoni, candied jalapenos, just a homemade sauce made with, what are the tomatoes I'm forgetting now? What I'll think of it in a
So
second.
you said you're making me pizza on Saturday? Is that what you said?
No, unfortunately not.
So what you're buying is pizza.
But obviously homemade dough. I did a Polish dough and then fresh mozzarella torn and then a little low moisture mozzarella to topper.
Very nice. So when's your next fam dinner? The 24th?
The 24th, but it is capacity already.
See, that's sold out.
Yeah.
So 24th is busy for all of us.
Yeah, we're
Yes.
gonna be hanging around everywhere.
24th is busy for all of us, and you still need to figure out February dates. Is that what
Yeah.
you said?
Yeah. And I'm going to do a class. I haven't even looked at February.
You know what? We need to announce our news while we're talking about it.
Yeah.
We got some news for everybody. We're holding back, but it is official. It is official. Shiftless is now a sponsored podcast going forward. It is official. But for those of you that are concerned that we're going to sell out and just talk up our sponsors and not talk shit about things we don't like anymore, I think they can feel safe that they're going to still get our honest opinions on stuff.
We're still going to kiss the ass of our sponsors, though.
We're
We're going to pander heavily to
we're
our
going to pander
sponsors.
very heavily towards those sponsors, but everyone else we're going to talk shit if we feel it's appropriate. But we're also going to be able to rave about the stuff we feel is completely appropriate.
And trash the stuff that we don't.
Exactly. Going forward, it's really no different than what we've been doing this whole time. We're going to be self-sponsored. Shiftless is brought to you by FAM
Yeah.
and Spinistry.
Yeah.
And not just to toot our own homes. We always just end up talking about our stuff anyway, but we've talked about it a bunch of times. That's why we're really excited about Austin joining us when he can. He's an independent racer, a true independent racer. As much as we love all the other racers, we know when shows are sponsored, when racers are sponsored, they can't always give what their honest opinion is on stuff.
And as much as we've been tempted to accept all the other sponsorship offers we've been showered with, the thousands.
I chased off another
the
one.
thousands of dollars that have been thrown at us.
I chased off another. I'll spill the beans.
Yeah.
I posted an Instagram image last month. Those feed podium hats, the blue hats with,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I think they're the dipshittiest looking hats I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Nothing against the feed.
So here's my thing. They look great on racers post-race. Beyond
As
that,
podium hats.
yes.
Makes sense.
And it's the same thing. You watch the movie F1?
Yes, I did.
Like at the end when they're on the podium and they're wearing those Pirelli hats.
Yeah.
I think it's Pirelli. And I was like, what a sick hat for a racer on
On
the
the
podium.
podium.
And I feel the same way about the feed hat.
Exactly.
It's super similar thoughts.
So
Same feels.
I posted that feed cap picture. I would never wear that hat.
Yeah.
It's a goofy looking hat, and it's one of those. I always cringe when I see on the podium, it looks good, but when other people are just wearing their feet, it's one of those things that bothers me. It's fine for them. I'm not judging them. I'm not judging the feed. I think the feed's a great sponsor.
Yeah.
But evidently, other potential sponsors or brand ambassadors of mine didn't like that, so I dropped that day as a brand ambassador.
I felt like it was a little bit of a bold stance to take, but I did not disagree with it.
It wasn't a jab at, yes.
Yeah.
If I would have filtered through my AI assistant
Yeah.
ahead of that post, it might say, oh, you might want to temper that a little.
Yeah.
It was not a jab at the feed. I'm a fan of the feed.
Yeah.
I think it's a great concept.
So just a quick
Not
sidebar.
sponsored by the feed, episode 129 or whatever it is.
It's my understanding that Matthew Vanderpool cracked his foot in this race. That's not him. That's not him.
I don't know.
He went to put his foot down in a corner and slid and had to put his foot down even harder, but still won the race.
Oh, okay.
And then had to have surgery like 2 days later once the swelling went down or something. I read a quick, that didn't look graceful at all.
We're watching cyclocross in the snow highlights,
Yeah.
lowlights, whatever they are.
No, this is literally highlights. Look, he broke his bar when he did
Well,
that.
no, but lowlights because that was a
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, broke, man.
Must have been Carbone. And it's a one piece.
Obviously. So, yeah, this episode is not brought to you by the feed, and we're not going to solicit from the feed, but if you like the feed, more power to you.
Yeah.
It is what it is. We're just going to lean on the self-sponsored aspect and just be ourselves. Not that we haven't been before, and we haven't been recruiting sponsors, but it's not a consideration at this point.
Yeah.
Because we want to talk about our stuff and do our stuff. And for people that like that, it's going to be 100% genuine. You never have to doubt that. I'll be honest with you. So when I do these scouting trips, obviously there's a lot of podcast time, windshield time playing.
Yeah.
And it's when you listen to the cycling related podcasts, so much of it is just so watered down content now because nobody really gives a real opinion on stuff.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Wish that people were a lot more candid. Now, I will tell you that I haven't listened to the Bonk Bros in a while. I fell off with them. I was going to say, so the best of my memory, they did not dance around too many things.
Still stick to, and props to the Bonk Bros. They had their, I haven't been listening to them as much either, but I did hear an episode where they were like ranking the different bike brands, and from just a perception basis.
Yeah.
And is this an A, B, C, D, or F brand bike? And they weren't pulling. Dylan held back himself.
He's beholden to a couple of brands.
About to say he abstained.
Yeah.
Which that's fine. I get that. But the ones he wasn't related to, he didn't pull any punches.
Yeah.
So kudos to them. They supposedly did that list for events, gravel events, I think, the next week. I hadn't heard that one. So that might be interesting to hear. Because I'm not going to go there.
I need to tune back into them.
They are still credible from an opinion standpoint, from my perspective.
I got a little annoyed with some of their podcasts just because there was the ones that really perturbed me were when they had 4 people or 5 people on the podcast.
When it turns into a cluster.
Yeah, and they start crosstalk, and then it also becomes difficult to really figure out who's talking because Drew and Dylan, I think it's Drew, they sound very similar, and there's 2 of the guys on there that sound very similar, and so it was just, there's a lot of crosstalk, and then it was just trying to track who was talking and stuff, and so it became a little bit, and then sometimes they talk about stuff that I have no information about, specific races or stuff like that.
They've definitely evolved into a very race-specific podcast.
As they should.
Which they should.
But then I enjoyed when they were talking about their trip to Belgium or wherever they went and stuff that I had no information about. So it's neither here nor there.
I agree. Again, sponsored by FAM. We'll rave about FAM going forward, but that's very justified raving there. No doubt about that. I think we've done a pretty good job of filling our time for today. Let me see where we're at.
It should be about an hour and a half.
An hour 45.
There you go.
And it'll be down to an hour and a half after we cut out some of those stuff that...
All the political rants that we went on?
Yeah. But again, massive thanks to Dusty Roads Bicycle Shop for hosting us on the fly. It was raining this morning, so we needed a covered spot. Looks beautiful out there at the moment.
Completely surprised by not only the fact that it rained, but that
the amount of rain that we got, because we got, I don't know what you drove through, but we got heavy rain
The road
off and on.
407 was super slick coming in, and there was a wreck just west of 1830.
Yeah.
It was a FedEx truck and the work van that
Ooh.
both were off to the side of the road. The work van was completely crashed in, and I got there just before the police did.
Yeah, I got a Alexa notification yesterday evening, and it said that there was a chance of rain between 6 a.m. and 7 a.m. And I was like, okay, no big deal. And I did not know that we were going to get the rain that we did. I think we got about a quarter of an inch
Okay.
or plus.
So our cushions would have been soppy. Is
Yes.
that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so we made the right call.
100%.
Happy New Year to everyone. Thanks for tagging along. Definitely, if you get a chance, take one of Brad's February dates for a fam dinner if you're in the DFW area.
Eatatfam.com.
Eat at fam.
Spelled out.
If anybody else is interested elsewhere in the country, we will be having meetups throughout 2026 where you'll get to sample some of Brad's fine foods. Reach out and touch us, shiftlesslive@gmail.com. Wherever we get the most demand for Brad's presence in real life, I will twist his arm to make sure he joins us for that particular trip. And I will adjust my schedule so that it suits his as well. But again, Tuba Trail states are Florida, Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and California. Any of those states along the route, if you can get a group together, we'll drag Chef Brad out there in the Shiftless Mobile and do a meetup, and you will get to taste his wares.
That'd be freaking awesome.
Oh, anything else?
Have knives,
Sir?
will travel.
Have knives, will travel. We've actually got almost everything we need for the portable kitchen, right?
Yeah, that's freaking
Except
so
for
cool.
except for coffee.
I think, but we're just going to get a nerd. Yeah.
Perfect. All right, Brad, tell them what to do.
Enjoy the sunshine and go ride your bike. I am definitely riding today.
I am too.
Yeah.
I am too.